Hello, this is Ralph K. Ginorio. Give me a few minutes and I'll suggest an idea worth considering. Our free press is one of the bulwarks of our republic. Without the free press, there would have been no American Revolution. The press allowed patriots to gather, to know, first of all, that their ideas were not unique, that they were not alone, that there was a chance. Our press during the American Revolution was the nervous system of freedom. Throughout the history of the United States, the importance of a free and unfettered press has been clear to everyone from Thomas Jefferson through the present day. At various times, the press failed in its mission. In the late 1800s, you have the yellow journalism of William Randolph Hearst producing the Spanish-American War. But after that time, throughout the 20th century up through about the 1990s, the American media was dedicated to being as clear and undistorting a lens as possible in presenting absolute, objective reporting on the facts so that free citizens could decide for themselves what they believe, where they stood, and what they stood for. However, within my lifetime, and especially in the era of Barack Hussein Obama, the press has abandoned this objectivity in favor of overt partisanship. They hid and buried stories in 2008 that were unfavorable to Obama. They used sneers and dismissiveness to consider anyone who considered the Reverend Jeremiah Wright a valid story as anything other than a whack job. No. It doesn't matter where the president's gone to church for over 2 decades. No, the consistent black liberation theology hate coming out of that guy had nothing to do with the real beliefs of Barack Obama. His association with William Ayres and radicals, his experience in the past as a student, all of these things were buried in the name of hope and change. Well, it's happening again. We have an American ambassador killed, murdered by Al-Qaeda. American intelligence services prove that it's Al-Qaeda less than 24 hours after the event they report it to the President and Secretary of State. And yet for the last 2 weeks, we've heard nothing but this is a spontaneous Arab response to a misuse of free speech by an American citizen. Oh, there is no terrorism. In fact, our beloved President hasn't even used the word terrorism yet. This is a major scandal. Our president has suppressed information that led to the murder of an American ambassador, and that's key to the melting down of the entire Middle East. Because he doesn't want to deal with the reality that Al-Qaeda is still functioning after the death of bin Laden. That we are engaged with people who think we're in a war of civilizations, that we actually have enemies in the war on terror, that it's not merely overseas contingency operations, that they're not merely man-made disasters, that we're dealing with enemies who want to wipe us out or turn us into another version of Sharia law. And our media does nothing. Sits quiet, buries stories. How any objective person could actually listen to the mainstream media at this point in time is genuinely beyond me. An honest person would look at something like Fox News and MSNBC, watch both, and maybe draw their own conclusions. The truth is, the mainstreams have viewed Fox News as sort of this unintelligible, bizarre gutter thing that's risen up, because they no longer understand the language of objective reporting. On Fox, there's advocacy by commentators, and there is reporting by reporters. And stories are reported on whether they influence the election or don't, whether they are favorable to the progressive point of view or not. They are not part of the comfortable Upper East Side Manhattan consensus view of the world that is utterly pompous in its intolerance to anything other than itself. They're not part of the mainstream, and so it seems like double plus good duck speak to them. Ladies and gentlemen, we each are responsible for what we give in charity. We are responsible for making sure that the charity that we give goes to a good cause and not a bad cause. Well, so it is with our free citizenship. We are responsible for our vote. We're accountable for how we use our freedom, and in the end, that means that we need to be intensely careful about where we get our information and who we trust. Please, for the love of whatever you consider to be holy, for the sake of your own freedom, open your eyes to something other than the comfortable suburban world created by NBC nightly news, and consider the possibility that even wrong news, unpleasant news, news that might harm one political party, may still be relevant as you come to your own independent decisions about life, the universe, and everything. Be well.